I know the answer to this, but does anybody else hear people going around calling Pope Francis Bergoglio? Have you seen what Bergoglio's done recently? Look at Bergoglio, and they don't even have the respect to call him Pope Francis. Now, someone asked Taylor Marshall, why do you call Pope Francis Bergoglio? And he says, oh, it's no big deal. It's because it's his last name. No, it's because you don't respect him as the Pope. That's why. But let's hear what Taylor Marshall has to say.
Why do you keep calling Pope Francis Bergoglio? Because that's his last name. It's totally fine. Don't freak out about it. If you go to St. Peter's Basilica, let me get a photo for y'all real quick. That is the front door of St. Peter's Basilica. That's the facade. And over here on the top where it says right there, Paulus with the V, which means 5, Paul V Bergasius. What is Bergasius? That's his last name. So here we see Paul V Bergasius Romanus, right? Roman Pontiff. It's actually his middle name, if you think about it. I mean, his last name, his surname is right over the front door of the basilica.
Now, let me ask you a question. Does anyone you know who likes Pope Francis call him Bergoglio? No. Do all the people who call him Bergoglio like him? No. Usually not. Usually they don't respect him. Usually they don't like him. Usually they think he's a heretic. They call him a schismatic. They say he's not the true pope. Some say he's not a pope at all. And there's so many audacious claims to him that they won't even call him Pope Francis. Or they just don't like the way he's doing the job. And so they just call him Bergoglio. Seems to me like a slur, like a slap in the face, like you don't even deserve our respect. We're not even going to call you Pope Francis. We're just going to call you Bergoglio. And that is not right. He is still the supreme pontiff. He still deserves respect. At least the office deserves respect, even if we don't like everything he does. Many of the ambiguities and other things, which are understandable, the office still demands the highest respect. You have to remember that God is very serious about his anointed ones. Even in the Old Testament, when David was being hunted down by King Saul, and David could have killed him, one of his men came up to him and said, do you want me to put a spear through him? And David ended up killing his own man rather than lay a hand on God's anointed. And he says, you don't touch God's anointed. So he wouldn't even do it. He wouldn't even disrespect him, even though he deserved it. Now, what is this thing about Taylor Marshall saying, oh, well, it's just his last name, calm down? No, we won't calm down. You have complete and total disrespect in all of your videos for Pope Francis. Maybe you don't like some of the things he's said and done, understandable. Maybe you don't like some of the ambiguities, understandable. But you have no respect for him because you won't even call him Pope. I mean, do you hear people going around saying, oh, Waitia, or Martini? You haven't heard Catholics in the past until now calling people by their last name, like a Pope, like, oh, Waitia, or Martini. You didn't hear that. It just didn't happen, much less with a dripping sarcasm and disdain, like, oh, Bergoglio. Bergoglio's at it again. You know, they have no respect for him. Yes, we're frustrated. Yes, we don't like all the things that he's doing, but we have to remember that it's an office. It's not just the man, it's an office, and we have to have the highest respect for the office, even if we don't like everything the man himself is doing. And to say that, oh, well, it's just the last name. Look at this church in Rome. Well, did you notice the church in Rome said Paul V, which was his papal name, and it said Supreme Pontiff right after it. So it got the message across that he was the Pope, he was the Supreme Pontiff, and that was his name. It wasn't just his last name, Bergoglio, or Paul V's last name. No, it was Supreme Pontiff. The whole thing was there. And in Europe, in fact, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but in Europe, they often call the popes by their last name, kind of like we do here, Mr. Smith, Mrs. Marshall, or whatever. But they call Pope Bergoglio, or they will say Pope Martini, or Pope Waitia. That's just their custom. It's an act of respect. Here, we call them by their first name. There, they call them by their last name with the Pope in the title. So it's Pope Waitia, Pope Bergoglio. It's not just Bergoglio. So that is a European thing. Maybe in documents, even in documents, in Vatican documents, they use the last name of the Pope, but they say Pope Bergoglio or Pope whatever first. Now, they may shorten it later on through the document so it's not repetitive, but they always know that it's Pope first. So Should we say Pope Francis? Absolutely. Why? Because he's the Pope. Why denigrate him? Why degrade him? And why disrespect him down to just Bergoglio because we don't like things that might be happening? Or, maybe we should be praying for him more rather than just Bergoglioing more. Oh, Bergoglio's at it again. Bergoglio's this. Bergoglio's a heretic. Bergoglio's not even the real Pope. Yeah, you got to look at yourselves. Maybe you're in schism too, because you're not even in line with the Pope perhaps. And now there are sincere Catholics that are just very frustrated, and they've devolved into this kind of sarcasm and this kind of disdain. And it's not right. And that includes priests. It's not right. We need to respect the office, and that includes saying Pope Francis. And he is the Pope, which is why we say Pope Francis and not just Bergoglio. Thanks so much for watching today. I hope this video was helpful for you. I hope to clear it up just a little bit of the confusion. There's a lot of confusion out there. And I ask you to say a prayer after this video for the Pope. I mean, the very first thing the Pope asked for us when he was elected, Pope Francis, was to pray for him. Are we doing that? Are we praying for him? Or are we just complaining about him? Let's start praying for him more. But let me know your thoughts down below, and please like and share this video, and check out our new website URL, catholictruth.org. It's not thecatholictruth.org anymore. It's just catholictruth.org. And check out our shop as we're putting all of our DVDs and CDs very soon into digital downloads so you can download them right from our website. Thanks for watching. God bless you.
Hi everyone, my name is Kate. I'm the video editor here at Catholic Truth, and I just wanted to say on behalf of all of us, thank you so much for taking some time to watch our videos and learn more about your faith. You guys really make this channel possible, and we truly appreciate you being here. So thanks again, and God bless.